Hello! Welcome back to Online English Class, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at sequences, or how to talk about events that happen in a certain order, especially where the order is very important. Let's get started with an example. We're going to look at cooking. I made spaghetti today. It was easy. First, I put some water in a pot. Next, I boiled the water on the stove. Then, I put the spaghetti into the boiling water. While it boiled, I stirred the spaghetti. Last, I drained the spaghetti and put it on a plate. I added some sauce and ate it. It was delicious. So here, we use one of the common uses for sequences, a recipe. Here, I made spaghetti. This is a walkthrough of how to make spaghetti in order. Some other common uses for sequencing, recipes, stories. My cooking recipe is also a story. It's written out in full sentences. Processes. It's also a process. My example is a process as well. Things like giving directions, like first go straight 2 blocks, next turn right. Things like that, where the order is important. It's important not to turn right before you go straight 2 blocks. And last one, anything how to. Usually the order is important. So these are some situations where you'll need to understand order or be able to use ordering and ordering expressions. So let's take a look at the order words in my first example. We have first, next, then, while it boiled, and last. These tell you about the time. It's not just that the sentences are written like this, it's that we add some words to highlight what order these events are happening in. All right, when you write out these expressions, you need to remember a comma after your order words if they're first. Like this, first, I put some water in a pot. It's important because this tells you to pause. So remember to pause when you're speaking also. And next, let's look at the verb tense. So all of them, I turned blue. And you can see that these are all past tense verbs because I'm telling a story. It's not just a recipe. I'm telling the story of my spaghetti making adventure. So it happened in the past, so I'm talking about it using past tense verbs. So this is more of a story format. And next I have a little bit different example. This is more of a recipe format. You might see this more if you look at just a recipe that doesn't have an associated story. And it's a little bit simpler. You can see it's shorter. And it's just titled How to Cook Spaghetti. All those how-to situations. First, boil some water. Next, add the spaghetti to the boiling water. While it's cooking, stir the spaghetti. Last, drain the spaghetti. So one difference here is also that this is shorter and has fewer details, but a lot of those details you don't really need because it's just a recipe. It's not a story. Again, the order words are really the same. First, next, while, last. And the punctuation is also the same. We use commas to separate out the order words, or kind of the timing words, from the rest of the sentence. Now, the verb tenses are where it's different. When you're giving directions, or when you're writing a recipe, or anything that's like how to do something, you'll use imperative verbs. So this is the imperative verb form. Boil, add, stir, drain. And you'll notice there is no subject because for imperative sentences, the subject is an implied you. This phrase is a little bit different, is cooking, because this is a part of the main sentence. This is part of the timing, the order expression here. This is the main verb, so this is an imperative verb. All right, let's look at some pronunciation, how to say these expressions. First, listen to the first couple of sentences here. First, I put some water in a pot. Next, I boiled the water on the stove. So that was a little bit fast, but I bet you could hear some words were louder than other words. And as you've seen, I've already changed these so you can see which words are going to be highlighted, which words are going to be a little bit louder. It's typically the important words in a sentence, and in this case, it's first, water, and pot. Those are the words that are going to stand out more in the sentence. And even if you just hear those three words, you can kind of guess what the sentence means. So let's listen a little bit more slowly. First, I put some water in a pot. First, I put some water in a pot. First, I put some water in a pot. Now with the second one, listen again. Next, I boiled the water on the stove. Next, I boiled the water on the stove. Next, I boiled the water on the stove. When you talk more quickly, those words really stand out more. Let's look at the sentences from the recipe now. First, boil some water. Next, add the spaghetti to the boiling water. These are different, right? These are the past tense, and these are the imperative sentences. So they're kind of the same, right? The highlighted words are really similar. It's the order words, and then the objects, water, spaghetti, boiling water, water in a pot, water on the stove, object, 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 object. So the format is the same. Let's listen to these. First, boil some water. First, boil some water. First, boil some water. Next, add the spaghetti to the boiling water. Next, add the spaghetti to the boiling water. Next, add the spaghetti to the boiling water. So again, when you say these sentences, remember to put some emphasis on the order words and the object words in the sentence. Here's the object of a preposition. Here it's what you put in the pot. All right, if you have any questions, please post them below the video and I'll try to get back to you. All right, thank you. Have a good day. You can do it.